Terry Doherty here for Aloxi International.
And I'm Jessica Wallinella, and we are blonding today.
Indeed. This is our model, Lindsay, and we did a half a head yesterday. She has lots of hair. So we wanted to give you the before and the after right now. So here we go. Look at how beautiful her blonde is. And we did a couple things here because when we were doing our consultation, Lindsay said, you know, I want to have a beautiful multicolor blonde and not too warm and not too cool. So.
And that was important to her, to be more in that neutral blonde playing field. So we used a few different techniques to accomplish that.
Did. And right now, you caught us right in the middle of our work. Jessica right here is doing her foiling already, and she's doing a couple combination of things.
When I'm working with blondes in the salon, it's so important that I give them a realistic look. And your blondes naturally have dimension. If you look at a child's hair that is blonde, you'll see all the different levels throughout that hair. So we're doing 3 different techniques in these foils right now. We have a baby light technique. We have a slice that is back combed, and then we're using our then we're going on and we're working through, and we're going to do a beautiful lift with our chroma with our brown gold series, our 0.83s.
Indeed. Okay, so we had a consultation because that's how we always start with blonding for sure. And in our consultation book, if we just open it right here, and we go to the blonde tab, this makes it really easy. For me, it's all about photography. And right here, when we were looking, she said she enjoyed this, and she enjoyed the multicolors right in here. She felt that this was too cool for her. And there we go. And she felt that this was too warm. So we're giving her a combination in here. She already has her natural level 6, and so we have to find out in our consultation where we're going, right? How do we find that out? So here we have our natural finder, and what I did is I came right over here in the light and looked real close at the hair and just did some reflect, right? And found out that she matches a level 6. And the other thing, which is always important to know, is does she have a percentage of gray, right? We can see if she has 25%, 50%, or 75%. But just so you know, you don't have any gray. And where do we find that? We find this information right here in our color swatch book, right? And as you can see right where I was, that's where we find our natural finder. This also gives you information on all the different tones. Okay. So Jess.
Beautiful. So
when
you are blonding, it is so important that we have proper saturation. And I'm using the white lightener with 10 volume for a very natural result. And I want you to see, this is a great test to see, are you saturating that foil? Look at your underneath. If your underneath doesn't have enough product on it, then you haven't properly saturated the lightener onto your foil.
Which can absolutely change your results.
And now we're gonna go into our back comb slice. And we're gonna use the back combing at the base because I want a very diffused look, a very soft look, no harsh lines. And as I said earlier, it's important that we have different techniques in order to give different looks throughout. Just using the difference between using the blue lightener with 30 volume in the slice packet is gonna give me a pop of the blonde that the client is looking for. And it's backed right to our natural, which was the white. Terry, do you want to take us through our lighteners?
I do.
We have so many great tools for blonding, and I want Terry to show you all that we have to offer you.
Okay, check it out. Over here, we have our white lightener, and as Jess said, She's working with a white lightener, which gives us natural results. She's also working with a blue lightener, and what does that do? That helps control warmth, right? And we also offer a freehand lightener, and we offer an ultra lift lightener. So with that, it's always interesting where to find our information. So we have here our salon technical guide, and you can find this at aloxi.com, right? And the information is right here on our lighteners. So I know when we're doing something like this, it's like, wow, well, where do I find that information? Because it seems like, you know, there's all this information coming at us, and you can always come back and see exactly where we are. Again, right here we have our white lightener, we have our blue lightener, our freehand lightener, and our ultra lightener. So check this out. These three, our white, our blue, and our freehand, give us 7 full levels of lift and can be used on the scalp. But we, as manufacturer's directions, really ask no higher than a 20 volume developer. That's important. And then we have our ultra lift. So these give us 7 full levels of lift. And then our ultra lift lightener can give us up to 9 levels of lift. And this is meant for your lower levels, 4, 3, 2, 1. So your very dark hair, and it will give you 9 levels of lift. That's amazing. And here's another one of my favorite, is our quick lift lightener. This will give you up to 5 levels of lift, but it can be quick. Say you have a client that comes in and boom, 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 you want to do something really fast, or maybe a face frame highlight right around the front. You can work with your quick lift lightener, and it will give you 5 levels of lift in 15 minutes. 15 minutes with a low controlled heat source, or without heat, up to 35 minutes.
Baby lights. Let's talk about baby lights. This is what a baby light should look like. It should be small, it should be thin, it should be exactly what it is, a baby light. You want to be able to read any type of newspaper that you had underneath it, and that tells you that you've done it correctly. And someone might say to me, oh, that takes a lot of time. Doing a beautiful blonde, take your time. You want to make sure that this is a marathon. This is not a race in order to get her to where she wants to be.
I love that. This is
Makes sense.
That's good. Because, you know, we don't want to, I'm big when we're working with lighteners that we're not using always too high a volume developer. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times 20 volume, 30 volume is going to get us right where we want to be.
They're all going to get you where to go. It's just how fast do you want to get there.
Indeed. So she's working also with our brown gold series. And the brown gold, so it's a 0.83. So 7 brown gold, 7.83 right there. And this is Chroma, our permanent cream hair color. And right here again is the information on Chroma and how to mix. So if we're working with Chroma, we can mix 1 part Chroma, our permanent cream hair color, to 1.5 developer. The other thing we have too, that when we're working a lot with blondes, is our platinum series. And our platinum series is mixed 1 part platinum color to 2 parts 40 volume developer. All right, and sometimes just on virgin hair, I love to work with my platinum series rather than a lightener.
Beautiful. 11A. Check out 11A. That is a remarkable color. Really helps with 4 levels of lift. It's not always about lightener. It can also be about permanent color, bringing you up there and giving you a beautiful, cool result. Indeed. This is our slice, our back home slice. And now watch, if I have my brush and I'm applying my product and making sure, always double check yourself. Sometimes someone next to you is talking and you might not realize you have good saturation. Get in there, fold it over, check yourself, and gently turn your brush and very, very softly bring it through. I know Terry mentioned earlier, we're gonna be doing a beautiful shadow root. I fold, I drag, and I give myself a little fold, and that will help Terry when she goes in between to place our base color.
Indeed, and talking about our base color, so we want to have really beautiful results that control the warmth. Our biggest thing in blonding is always our underlining pigment.
It's huge.
And for those of you who have just started with our color, if you've just logged on, so she's a natural level 6. We're going to a level 9. What's underneath there? Underlining pigment, right? So a lot of people ask about how do we control that? And right here in our swatch book, we have a lot to offer for control. So you can come in natural ash, beige, gold violets. We have ash. And today I'm going to be working with the 8AA level 8 ash blue base and 9AA level 9 ash blue base. What does blue do for us, Jess?
We want to counteract. So if we go back to our color wheel, the opposite of blue on the color wheel is orange. And what do we always hear clients say? I don't want orange, I don't want brassy. It's such a big challenge. And I always say color is logical, it's not emotional. If we know our color wheel, we understand our underlying pigment, we know how to fix it. And in our situation, if we're working with blondes, we need to know that blue is going to counteract any type of orange type of pigment. And we know that our violet is going to counteract any type of gold or yellow pigment. So very important that we know what our ashes are and our color wheel.
Indeed.
And we're going in with another baby light, very thin.
So today, for her base, and as you can see, Jess has worked with controls. Like, think of our developer as our gas pedal, per se, right?
I like that, gas pedal.
And we use that for control. And you notice that she's working with a 10 volume developer on one of your lighteners, right?
Right now with the white lightener.
With the white lightener. And so that's going to give you just a nice, steady, slow. But like she said, she's not running a huge race, or she's running a marathon. So we want steady and control. All of our tools are about how we control our timing. So next, we're going to be going in at the base, and we're going to work with Chroma, our permanent cream hair color, level 8 ash, which is a blue base, and level 9 ash. So let's talk, because this is really important. Right here, when we're looking at our developers and our chart about how we lift, right? So a 10 volume will give us our tone on tone. A 20 volume will give us 1 level of lift. And a 30 volume will give us 2 levels lift, and 40, 3 levels of lift, up to 4 if you're using a high lift platinum series. We talk a lot about a shadow root, right? Or a shadow base. We want to see it looking more natural, where we see a little bit more depth moving from here into the lightness on the ends. That is still strongly trending. So in this case, with my level 8, I'm going to bend the rule just a little bit. I'm going to drop my volume down a little bit. So my level 8 and a 20 volume developer, and then that's going to be at the base, and then a level 9. So if you check out her hair right here, see the amount of depth? She's already grown out too far. And this is a common thing that happens in blonding. Yeah, that's a lot. So if I just put one color from there to the mid shaft, what's going to happen? She's going to get too warm at the base, right? So here's where I'm bending the rule. I'm going in with my level 8 AA ash, and I'm going to work with a 20 volume at the base. Then that mid shaft, where there's no more heat and that hair is hardened or fully keratinized, I'm going to work with a level 9 AA and a 30 volume developer. This will give us a beautiful, even base throughout. So that's a trick I like to use a lot in blonding.
I mean, I'm so happy that you pointed out scalp heat. So many people know about hot roots, but they don't think about it in lifting. And then
Right.
it's true, you have this beautiful lightness at the root, and then you're like, oh no, what happened there? You have to be able to formulate for what you see down the hair shaft. It's so critical. Let's talk about toning. So with my beautiful Lindsay yesterday, I decided that I was going to use our InstaBoost to tone her with. So I started to pre-tone with our Violet shampoo, and then I went in with our Strictly Platinum InstaBoost, and I'll show you what she's gonna go home with today with that. One of our other options is tones, and if you haven't used tones before, that is our non-ammonia demi-permanent, and it has a beautiful variety. One of my favorite is 9P in tones, and it's great for a quick toner, and our 9P is a 9, and it has a violet and blue counteracting. So that's gonna give us that beautiful pearlescent, gorgeous result, and I know I'm gonna take you through the swatch book in a few minutes and show you that. But we have many different options, and working with blonde, it's important to understand when it is proper to use what tool. And I love at Aloxi that we have all the tools in the toolbox to help with that. Terry, what are you mixing up over there?
Hell.
We're gonna go in with our base, which is gonna be our 8 Ash, our Intense Ash series. And that's 2 hits of blue to counteract that warmth. And then she's gonna go in with her 9AA with 30 volume, and that's gonna just bump it up just a little bit so that we give Lindsay that more neutral blonde result. No brass, as she was referring to. And we're gonna get it moving.
You know, Jess, if we could just share really quick what we did start with, our color prime, and we started with some barrier cream right around her face, because it's really important to protect the skin and stop any staining. And then we also went in with color prime.
Brush choice too is very important. So when I'm going to be going up, especially when I graduate up to the front, I don't want to do too much back combing. I don't want it to look like she has roots. So using an angle brush is going to allow me to get real down close and very gently stroke back and forth so that I really get close to that base area. And then I'm going to lock this foil so that Terry can get in between and apply that base color. Okay. So blonding. Blonding is important, and it's important that we take each head of hair and understand what we're looking at and where we're going to. Should Lindsay have said she wanted to be a very strawberry type blonde, then we would have been going in more with warmer tones. But as Lindsay said, she wanted to counteract and be more of that neutral, so that's why we have the different techniques and going through using the different lighteners, different developers, and different technique of slice, weave, and baby light. So I'm coming up to my last few right now. Very gentle around the hairline.
Okay, I have started my mix. This is my level 8 Ash right here in Chroma, our permanent cream hair color. And then here, and you guys always mix with a scale. It makes such a difference in your work. Then here I'm working with my 9AA, and I put in 50 grams. Notice I go in clear. And now I'm going to work with my 30 volume developer, and we can just watch the scale right here. So it's 1 to 1.5, right? Let me see if I can read this upside down. Here we go. And so if that is 50 grams, how much am I gonna add? 75 in the 30 volume developer. Okay, what's cool about this with Chroma is it's for me, it's a great point of difference because you have a lot of product, right, to work with because of that mixing ratio. Another thing that is very important to me, always mixing with my whisk because that really gets your product mixed up properly. Because if you get it stuck in the brush and it's not mixed thoroughly, that can make a difference. And look how easily that mixes up. There we go. Here is one. And this is my level 9. And Chroma, 9, level 9, Ash. we determined that she's a natural level 6, and we want to bring her base color up to a level 9. Right? And I discussed earlier, since we're going to get a shadow base, that I wanted to start with my level 8 at the base and 20 volume, and then I'm going to go with the level 9 and 30 volume for that mid-shaft area. Okay. Jess, you rock.
Let's go, Terry.
Okay. Here we go. Here's my 9, here's my 8, so here's my 9. I'll have the audience keep track of that for me, huh? Okay, level 9, level 8, here we go. So I'm gonna flip these foils. I'm gonna start in and I'm gonna work over. Again, here is the result that we are going for. It's just this beautiful bombshell blonde. And it is super important that we do a consultation, right? The other part too, that's really important, is working with our, there it is. There we go. Color Prime. Now Color Prime, she just went in and Color Prime previous to everybody signing on. And Color Prime, when you're working on these length and ends, what does it do? It evens out our porosity, and so we can go through and prime just a little bit more for our ends to be sure that we really even our porosity. It goes for great color application, keeps it smoother. I also like the way it has the spray nozzle. That makes a big difference.
Gently cleanses the scalp for when your client comes in and says, you know, I'm sorry, I came in with dirty hair today.
And also helps for scalp sensitivity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're blonding. So we want to make sure that we take the scalp sensitivity into effect.
And this is a great way to like get the hair out of my way so I can come in and start from the base, because that's where she's darkest, right? Is down at the nape.
And that's where we started our highlights today.
Yeah.
Always starting in the darkest area first.
Important. Another thing that we have that is really fantastic is our color lock. Color lock is one of the most important things when we are rinsing our color out, okay? And previous to toning, because you're going to be talking about tones as well. So color lock stops all of the chemicals that are left in the hair. It is a 2.0 to a 2.3 in pH. So what that does is that brings the hair back to its normal pH, and that's really important. And just spraying a little bit more all through my edges. Here we go. Okay. And previous, you want to be sure that all of your lightener is truly out prior to any toning.
This is the magic right here. 9P, a 921, 9 pearl. This is magic. If you don't have this in your salon right now, you need to have it. This is going to help with everything we talked about, orange and gold counteracting. We have our violet and we have our blue right there to help to make sure that you have a nice, cool blonde result. We discussed the Platinum series, and I talked about how lightening is not always about using lightener, that we have our High Lift Blonde series. So this is 4 levels of lift. It's a 1-to-2 mixing ratio, and right here, your 11A, that's liquid gold. Now,
as you can see, right here, I'm putting on my level 8, right here at the base. You also watch me work with my comb as well, because this helps in control of the foils. And then here we go with our 9 right up there and just blending through the blonde, being sure. You saw Jess earlier when she was applying. She was really thorough with her application. That's important. If you've ever seen your blondes where you get kind of spotty, right? Generally, that relates to application. Also, if someone's ever said, well, I'm not getting my full lift that I want, generally, I'll say that maybe there wasn't enough product on there. So it's all about really getting that product on that area. Again, level 8 AA at the base, level 9 AA mid-shaft. So notice how I'm going to use my foil here as my base so my hands can stay clean. And then pulling that through, you can see right here how I use my comb to be sure I get that area. Okay.
Terry, I'm so happy that you talked about application. I've had so many times where someone says, oh, this doesn't lift, this doesn't lift. And I go back and I look and it's usually the application. So thin
Indeed.
slices, just as I went through about using our slices and making sure you could read a newspaper underneath it, it's so important that we make sure we take very small, thin slices when we're applying. And that goes for overall lifting or even in foil packets. Let's take you through developers. It's important to understand what every developer is doing for you. We talk about, it's not a race, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We have our 10 volume. That's gonna help you with your lower, slower, more controlled lift. But coming onto the other side, I wanna show you blue developers. So this is another option for you to help control underlying warmth when you are blonding. So we have our 10 or 20, we have our 30 volume, our 40 volume, and then we also have our 20 and 40 volume in our blue. Now, we talked about toning, and I said when I did toning on Lindsay, Violet shampoo was my pre-tone, and Strictly Platinum Instaboost. This was a home run where I was able to condition and tone at the same time, and this is going home in her swag bag, which is also in my shower.
Indeed.
Can't leave home without it. Now, we also have our Bombshell, which is our beautiful Bombshell in our new packaging, okay, which is gonna deliver a beautiful volume and voluminous result that she's gonna feel, and that's using sugar starch. So what I'm gonna recommend for Lindsay is I'm gonna want her to 1 day Bombshell, 1 day Violet shampoo, 1 day Bombshell, 1 day Violet shampoo. So she keeps her palette very neutral for her blonde hair. She's then gonna switch off between our Instaboost Strictly Platinum and our Bombshell conditioner. So she gets a little refresh to make sure that when she comes back to see us again in the salon, her hair looks just as fabulous and we're just ready to go in and do her new growth area. Terry, how you doing over there?
I am great. I want to also share, you talked about different toning, and the big thing that I would like to share also is tones.
Yes.
Because there's all this combination when we're dealing with blonding. And we often need tones because tones is our demi-permanent hair color, no ammonia, and it's a deposit-only color. It can be used for many things, and one of the biggest things is working with blondes. Because I call it, like, instead of just being a raw blonde, right? It's always great to have something finish off your blonde and really make it that beautiful color, from pearl colors to warmer colors to natural ashes. Indeed. So check this out.
On our paper swatch chart, we make it very easy for you to see what shades are also available in tones. And right here, if you look at our 9 neutral and you see on the side where it says tones, that's letting you know that this shade is available not only in our chroma, which is our permanent, but in our demi-permanent or our tones. Some of our favorite, we have our 9NT, and then our 9NT, and then right across our 9B, our 9 Ash, and there's that magic 9P again. And these are our toning options. We're gonna use that with our 7 volume developer, and we're going to watch it, and it's gonna be up to 20 minutes.
Yeah, it can be a visual deposit. We also have something that is exclusive to tones, which is clear. And our clear will give us great shine. But it's also if we want to like do a sunshine to a blonde, we can take clear in our tones and then add like a 9G. It's a beautiful way to make a sunny color. Also, another favorite is 10V for me. Level 10, violet in tones. And if I'm looking for an icy blonde and keeping it really sheer, then I'll go in and add some clear to it. Again, if you've just come in, we're working with a natural level 6. We are doing a blonding, indeed. And right here at the base, we determined she's a natural level 6, and I want to bring the hair level up to a 9. And I'm using a level 9 on the mid-length, and I'm working with a level 8 ash here at the base. Jess has already gone in and she's worked with white lightener. She has worked with blue lightener. And what does blue lightener do? It helps take care of unwanted warmth. And she's also worked with chroma, our permanent cream hair color, in our gold, our brown golds, which are stunning if you want to do even some gorgeous low lighting with some brown golds. And I do believe we have the swatch chart right here to check this out. So she's also added this into the hair, which is fantastic.
That was my weave to give it a
Yes.
nice one level of lift throughout, and that's our brown gold.
So as you can see, you know, I'm just gonna turn just a little bit, so as I'm working through here, you can see the results on this other side. Jess, I'm just gonna have you hold this up for me. There you go. Beautiful. Still working in a level 8 at the base and 9 through that dark mid shaft.
And you could see with the Strictly Platinum how it just picked up on the lighter pieces, which were a result of the 30 volume, the slices, with our blue lightener. And you could just see that beautiful pearlescent platinum look on those right next to the beautiful gold. And it's just a beautiful palette all the way throughout. And that gave her that natural look, as if the sun came down and just sun-kissed her hair.
Blondes are a thing, you know?
They're hard. But I think if you take your technical expertise and you take the color wheel and all the tools that we have in our palette to be able to do that, it would be very seamless.
Also, pictures do a lot for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you're really great, Jess, about Instagram and sharing. We have a couple different photos. And again, I talked earlier how important it is for communication. And when we're talking about, do you want a warm blonde? Do you want a cool blonde? Do you want a golden blonde? So these are all communication things that we have to go through every day behind the chair.
And I think that is a wonderful point, Terry, because so many times a client comes in and they say they want blonde, or they bring us a photo from Pinterest or something else. And what happens is they go ahead and they show us a picture. It may not be work that we've done, and it could have been filtered work. And we need to understand what a realistic expectation is. So this is using our 11A in order to achieve a beautiful, cool blonde. Okay. And a beautiful, soft balayage honey blonde. Another soft blonde.
You know, and Jess, you said expectation. I think that's a huge thing. We as professionals, it's very important to constantly communicate with our clients, and giving expectation is a big thing. And if somebody just shows us a photo and says, this is what I'm interested in, and you don't feel like you can get there at that time or the amount of time that you've made your appointment for, that's a big thing. So you're better off possibly rescheduling them and getting them in at a time that you can really create the proper blonding you want to do. Super, super important.
And everyone on our Aloxi national team would love to help you. Here at the studio, We have amazing education with our seminars. We have 2 coming up in the second half of this year, and Terry and I are going to be together in November. We're coming together, and they're letting us work together again. How crazy. Okay, so we're going to have student education. You want to see Aloxi International, and that you can get aloxitix.com. Hope you're following us on Facebook already, but following us on Instagram is very important. I want to just take you back to when we were talking about tones. Using a single process, sure, we can get you up there. Using a double process, using our tones to really get you that beautiful icy look is exactly what our tones is designed for.
Okay. Just want to double check around her face right here to be sure that I have, this is my level 8. And just to review, if you just tuned in, we started with a level 6. And then we're going to a 9 with a multi-dimensional blonde. You can see we did do her finished look, so she's able to have perfect results with the combination of exactly what we did. Reviewing, started with a natural level 6. We're going to a 9 with multi-dimensional highlights. We also worked with our white lightener, which gives natural results. Our blue lightener controls the warmth. And then we used Chroma, our permanent cream hair color, 8.83, level 8, brown gold. And we're gonna let her process. So you did talk about what we're gonna send her home with, which is super important to help her blonde. Again, our Insta Boost and our Platinum, and then also our Violet shampoo, which is excellent for pre-toning. Then we also shared Bombshell, which has been revolutionary, really, with the quartz dust to really give us a lot of, I call it zhuzh, right? That grip and that volume. Notice Lindsay has really, even though her hair is an average texture, her hair also has a lot, she has a lot of weight. And so Bombshell is really great from the shampoo and the conditioner right here behind us. And pull this out. Plus, we have our Bombshell Shine Mist, which is excellent because it comes both in large and small. And I know my clients love this for travel. It's a big, big point of difference. We have education here at the North Hollywood studio and Hollywood Extravaganza. They're a hoot, just gotta say. They're a lot of fun. And the education, everybody raves about it and how much fun we have. We have this beautiful studio where we do so much. It's our home office.
Education and comedy, let's be honest about that.
So you can get your tickets at aloxi.tix.com, aloxi.tix.com. And what else? What else do we want to talk about? There's so
she
much.
leads the process for 30 minutes, when then we're going to go and you're going to check back with us and see the beautiful finished result on our Bombshell Blonde.
We will have it online. Oh, and 2 o'clock, we're going to be back. 2 o'clock, what are we doing? Color correction. Yeah, we have a beautiful redhead.
Exciting.
Okay, thank you from Aloxi. And
Thank you,
see you in a
Terry.
bit. Thank you, Jess.
Awesome.
And thank you,
See you in a
Lindsay.
little bit.
Cheers, you guys.